the 30th of July. As you can see, beautiful day overhead here, slightly overcast, but it is very warm. I think they're predicting it to be maybe 20 to 22 Celsius today. As you can see, I'm out topping. Judging by the state of the field, you can see this field wasn't topped for a good few years. A combination of bad weather last year and a topper that wasn't up to the job. So last week we had to turn around and we bought a second-hand Pottinger mower. She's a 2008 model, so she's 16-year-old. Nothing fancy, but she'll do this job here. As you can see in front of me here, we have quite a crop of rushes down here in this hollow. And anybody that cut bushes before will realise they're not easy to cut. So I might have to knock her down a few gears here to give her time to go through it. As you can see there, what happens when a mower's cutting, the bottom of the clump of rushes is so thick, she actually ends up almost skidding over the top of it. And she misses it then. I'm just down here in the lower gears now. Just give her plenty of time here to cut through this here, try to make as clean a cut as possible. The rushes, like a lot of weeds on farms, they get a few years and are able to thicken up. They take over the place, and as you can see there, I'd say half this field down here is probably nothing but weeds, so you lose a lot of your grassland. So I thought when the weather was good, I would give this a bit of a trim on here today. Try to put the field back into a bit of shape. It's a 10-acre field. It's a field that you could actually put silage in again if it was ploughed and re-sown. But I might rather do that this year. We have other fields that we hope to do that are actually in a worse state. So this bit of tidying up might do for this year. And it'll hopefully make a bit of improvement to the look of the field anyway. See clearly there in front of you the difference between the bit that hasn't been cut and the bit that is cut. And you'll appreciate why I'm going slow here at the minute and giving the tractor and the mower a bit of time, because there's quite a crop of rushes here. The yellow, what might appear to some people as flowers there in front of you, is actually weeds. I think the real name is ragworts, but in this area we call them benweeds. Now don't ask me how we got the name benweeds, but that's what they've been called. You see some cattle there up on the distance still grazing, and up there in front of me now at the minute, that's the sheds to the farm. So I'll continue on here and I'll let you see how this here turns out. Just stopped here a minute. I was out to check the blades there on the mower. I had a stone down next to the main road there, but it hasn't done any damage. This is what we're trying to achieve here today. You can see the difference there on the before and the after. I don't know what you think of my topping. I think it's turned out not so bad, to tell you the truth. It's a slow procedure. Anybody that ever cut rushes before, it's a job you can't really speed through. You have to give the mower her time, because the rushes up here at this end of the field aren't too bad, but as I said, down at the front road down there, they were really thick, and the base, which could be maybe a couple of feet across, stands a lot of cutting. But getting on okay. I'd say another hour I'll be finished in here. It's Monday, I think it's the 12th of August. It must be easily over a fortnight since I was down here cutting these rushes in this field. Last week I rode them up. I was just using this single rotor rake that we have, I think it's a Tarap 9032. Things were looking well here. Was down last night as well. Rolling them up again. I was really just moving it from where it was sitting over onto drier ground again, and things looked pretty good. But then last night we had thunder and lightning and heavy rain, which just kind of spoiled things again. The baler's booked to come this evening. The rushes of course are not as dry as what I would like, but looking at the weather forecast, it's given rain for every single day for the rest of the week, so might be as good as what I'm going to get it. The grass is starting to come up in the field again, so I want to get the field cleared so we get on either slurry or fertiliser and try to grow another crop of grass before the grazing season's over. It's typical of the kind of weather we're getting this year and last year. You don't really get enough time to do your job the way you want to get it done, but que sera, whatever shall be will shall be. But it just makes life on a farm that bit more difficult when you don't get that extra day or two to do the job properly. It's now Wednesday, the 14th of August. It's just gone 6 o'clock in the evening. You can see by the sky there is a threat of rain this evening, and there's an orange weather warning for tomorrow morning. So lucky enough, the baler has arrived here this evening to start baling up the rushes. I just actually felt the rushes in the grass there in the sward, and it's amazing how much it has dried even today. As I say, I rode it up again this morning. All I was actually doing is, with a single rotor rake, is moving it from one part of the field to the other. It doesn't really get tossed like with a tedder or a hay bob. But it's amazing how much it has dried even from this morning. I'm actually more optimistic now than I was 4 or 5 hours ago that this here might actually be a success. When you look at the sward there, I know there still is green rushes in it, but there's quite a bit of grass in that sward as well. Usually what happens when you have a lot of rushes in the field, the grass that grows around the rushes and then amongst the rushes, the cattle don't eat. But when you top it, it's amazing the amount of grass that actually, as I say, is in and around a rush plant. And come the winter time again, when cattle aren't as fussy as what they are during the summer, they'll quite possibly eat quite a bit of that bedding and be actually thankful to get it, so they will. But as I say, I'm more optimistic now than what I was 5 or 6 hours ago. But looking at that sky, the rain's not far away. It's amazing how lucky we've been. There's been spits of rain off and on for hours, but it seemed to blow over nicely. So, as I say, within an hour this job should be done and dusted, and I'll get these bales lifted and taken into an old silage pit of ours, which is a roofed silage pit, so they'll get a chance to dry out. I'll not pack them in too tight, I'll leave them spacing between them to give them a chance to air out. And It's Thursday, the 22nd of August, and I'm standing here in one of our roof silage pits. And this is where 8 days ago I decided to stack the bales of rushes that you've seen being baled. I decided that because the rushes weren't as dry as what I hoped for in the field, that I'd put them out here in rows on the floor of the pit, just to give them as much time to really breathe or dry out as much as possible. When I was stacking these last Wednesday, which I say was 8 days ago, I had 4 bales remaining and the rain came on, and since then it has been almost constant rain. Looking at that sky again, there's a shower just after passing there, as you can see by the water running down the walls there of the pit. I put these out in rows, and I didn't push them in or butt them in tight to one another. I allowed a nice gap in between them, just to allow the bale to breathe and allow as much air around them as possible to hopefully dry out any moisture that was remaining in the bales. Now, to be fair, I'll be truthful, the bales at the front there was 5 from a field that you didn't see, and the field that you did see being baled, we ended up with 25. I thought in my head maybe we could end up with 20, we ended up with 25. And they are slightly drier now, the ones at the front. There are some, I've been going around here for a good few days now, just feeling the bales to see if there's any heat in them. Some now bales did show areas of heat, and you could have seen patches where people used to describe bales as actually sweating. Well, you could almost say there was patches of sweat on the bales, but that has started to dry out now. So I'm more optimistic now that these bales will actually be of some use for bedding again. And considering the price that they're quoting for straw at the minute, this will be definitely useful.